Duvet is brought to you by GBH Hair Relaxer Cream. Good evening and welcome to your favorite late night show, Duvet. And tonight we're coming to you from Insumanam at Cantonments on the Switchback Road. And you do know that around this time of year, a lot of partners, a lot of couples travel to places near and far just so they can spend some good quality time together. Now, this quality time most often involves a lot of sex. Now, tonight we're talking about sex trips. And I have my guests with me tonight. I have Richmond Quainer, who's a nurse. Richmond, how are you?
Very well, and you?
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, dear.
Okay, what are you giving me for Christmas?
What do you want?
Hey, don't be asking what do I want, dear.
Would you ask for a car?
No, I won't. Anyway, welcome to Duvet. And then I have the beautiful Ami Shika. Ami, how are you?
I'm fine.
Merry
thank
Christmas.
You. I'm feeling very sexy because it's Christmas.
Yes, it is. And I love your nails. You know,
Thank
I'm
you.
doing the green, you're doing the red.
red.
Compliments.
Yeah.
Compliments.
Okay.
Welcome to Duvet.
Thank
and then I
you.
have John Michael, the man himself.
Hello.
He's here. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's always fun to have you.
we
And
try.
especially considering the conversation, knowing that you're one of the few people who's always traveling around the globe. I believe tonight you give us a lot of insights.
Yes, I'll give you insight relating to my life before marriage.
As
get
always,
me?
as
As
always.
always.
We like the before marriage part.
Yes,
Definitely
yes,
no
yes.
after marriage conversations
Definitely.
here. All right, so let's get into it. Tonight we're talking sex trips. First of all, Ami, let me start with you because you're the woman. Have you ever had a sex trip?
Yeah, in my past relationship, we would sometimes go out of town, maybe go to a resort, a hotel, and then when we would go, we would prepare toward having a lot of fun because we're young and we're in a relationship. So it's like, okay, what do we need to have fun? And when we go there, me personally, I look for any available spots to have a good time with my man. Because like everything aside, no work, we're here to chill. So any available spot you can do like the sexy things at, like you just pinpoint them and at the right time you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any available spots, you know, at the place that you go to?
Yes.
Meaning that it could be indoors, outdoors, everywhere that you...
everywhere, because it's out of town.
Okay.
So you feel comfortable to do a lot of things.
Right. So that is typically a sex trip. The
Yes.
main agenda for this trip is just so we can have sex.
Because it's somebody you want. That's your
Okay.
partner. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, we are here. What else can we do? We can hang, but sex has to be a top thing. If you are both sexually attracted to each other,
You prioritize it.
you have to.
You have to. Interesting. And usually you're doing this trip because, you know, your regular, maybe at home or where you've been having sex on a regular basis has become too familiar, a little boring.
Not really.
Okay.
I feel like as couples, as people who are being together for a while, if you've been married, you're in a relationship, sometimes you need a novelty.
Okay.
So once a while, you go out of town, look for a place that appeals to both of you.
Okay.
And then when you get there, of course, because you like each other, it's a new place. It's exciting to have sex because it's like, okay, we've never done this here before.
Okay.
So for couples, married people, I feel like it's important that once a while you go out of town and then like, I mean, it just feels like, okay, this maybe the honeymoon stage where things are exciting, then you can do stuff that, I mean, you do in your house already. But this time it's exciting because it's a new space.
Right. Would you say the sex in that place is a lot better? Would you say it, you know,
It's more exciting because it's a different place. Like,
Right.
That's the thing. That's why we always say like change locations sometimes. Because when you're in a new location, it's like, okay, your body understands that I've never done this here before. So it brings some kind of excitement. So if you've been together for a while, please go out of town. Even if it's a hotel in your town, it's a new space. So you feel like you can do anything anyway. You're not the one cleaning up. There are people gonna clean up, yeah.
okay.
I'm just curious. Since you've been waiting at Insumanam for a while, did you see any good spots?
If I'd come here with my person, definitely.
You would have
I don't
spotted
joke with
a
that.
few.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Richmond, have you had a sex trip?
No, yet to plan one.
You're yet to plan one.
Yeah,
So for you, having sex is at home,
sure.
in the bed.
Well, once it's home, anywhere suitable, I think it's
Anywhere
good enough,
suitable. But you would consider a sex trip
Sure.
with your partner.
Sure.
Where do you see yourself going with your partner?
I think Adam will be the best location.
Okay.
Adam, because I've been to Aqua Safari, I've been to Peace Holiday,
Okay.
and then Adam Fall.
Okay.
So I think Adam will be the best place.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're imagining that when you go to Adan, like what are some of the things that you think you would do that will, bring out the need to feel sexy? You know, there are certain spaces that make you feel sexier.
Yeah.
You get to wear your bikini, you get to let yourself go, you actually feel it.
Yeah,
No, he isn't, but clearly your partner will.
The partner is going to wear it. Since it's a bit far from home,
Okay.
the settings is good, the atmosphere, the breeze, as the lady rightly said, anywhere you find yourself where, you feel it's good enough to do it, I think you are good to go.
You're good to go.
And then you don't check the number of times, you don't count the number of times, because both are attracted to each other.
Right.
And so once you have that sight, and then you feel like having it.
Okay.
If she's ready,
This
cool.
is the reason why we're here.
Sure.
So we're doing it all the way.
All the way.
All the way.
Without counting.
Without counting. Okay, John Michael, tell me, because I know you've been to a lot of different places, where would you say was the most exciting and memorable place that you went for a sex trip?
Where was the most memorable? I don't even know because there's so many of them now. I'm struggling to place which one was extraordinary. My mind is blank. There's just too many places.
Too many places.
Which were all very good as well.
Which were all very good. But what did that do to you or for you in your relationship?
Okay, so generally, I like to believe I'm not a boring person, and because I'm not a boring person, a sex trip isn't usually because I want to spice things up necessarily, but it is mostly to bond with the person that I'm with. So I want to go somewhere different. I want to do things different. Like I said, since we are tapping into this topic, I'm going to go before I got married. I generally feel that most people are not monogamous, right? And even though we talk about sex and talk about reinventing sex and then doing things to excite the person you're with, I tend to feel that people are generally not monogamous. And so sometimes, however exciting it is, it will get boring with the same person, right? Back when I was a lot younger, that used to excite me more. So it's about the fact that where I am is where my partner or the person that I'm with is. And so it's just too dangerous to mess around in that same space. So it's about arranging to go out of town, travel together to a place where your partner isn't. And then it's, what was it? There was a post I saw last week that said that cuddling with someone who isn't yours is more fun because the pressure is up and so it's heated. But it's a similar thing. It's the rush, it's the adrenaline rush, it's the excitement. It's about doing what you know you shouldn't be doing, but then that adds to the excitement. So, yeah.
That's interesting. Now, this was pre-marriage.
Yes, this is all pre-marriage.
All pre-marriage. So post-marriage, tell me, at what point do you suppose a married couple should go on a sex trip?
At any point where you feel that events surrounding you are causing tension, or where you feel there's a need to relax. Because the thing about sex that a lot of people take for granted is the fact that there's a very psychological part to sex. And so however much you're sexually drawn to a person, when you're stressed, when you're not in the right place mentally, you don't enjoy sex or you don't even want to have sex. And at points where you realize your partner is stressed or your partner is going through stuff, it's usually a very good time to take a trip outside, go somewhere different, change the scene, just so that, one, they feel appreciated, two, they get to spend some one-on-one time with you, which is tricky in the case of married people who have children, because every now and then you're having to go with the children, and if you're going with the children, are you, and they're not old enough, then are you getting them a room, an adjoining room? Are you staying in your room with them? Are they going to come knocking on the door when you're getting in the
Mommy.
mood? You know, so at any point in
I
time,
can't sleep.
yeah, at any point in time where you feel there's a need.
Mommy, Michael hits me.
Or children?
No, because kids and all their
Yes.
complaints, every second they are right back.
Yes. And sometimes I feel like there's an element of witchcraft in a lot of children where they seem to sense the very moment that people want to get down, and that is when they are scared. That is when they want to sleep
Yes.
in the middle
Yes.
of the bed.
Yes.
It happens, but sometimes
Right.
it's about send the kids up to their grandparents, to your cousins, to your siblings, to for sleepovers with friends, and then go away. Go away
Right.
for a week and go away
Right.
for a week. But once Accra, take Accra. Accra is stress. When you move outside Accra, it's almost like the air changes. Like even the air that you breathe
Very
feels
true.
cleaner and feels nicer. And you go into chillax mode. You're no longer dealing with the pressure. The best is if you put off your phone. But now we like to document everything we do and, let everybody know that life is
Yeah.
good sometimes. But yes, going away shouldn't be, there's no particular point where you go, but then different things trigger the need for you to get out of town and spend some
Right.
time with the person you're with.
That's very true. Richmond, tell me something. Because of where John Michael landed, for a couple who, yes, we see the need to go on a sex trip or to go away. It's good for our relationship. But then that also heads your pocket somehow. For a couple that is probably going through it. We know how the economy is these days.
Sure.
And nothing is affordable anymore.
Sure.
Going away is a lot of money. Typically, I imagine even for a weekend, depending on where you're going, you're looking at not spending anything less than 5,000 cedis for a weekend. That's sleep, food, drive.
You want to sleep in a nice place.
If you want to sleep in a nice place, sleep, food, drive back and forth.
Yeah.
That's and 5,000 is like the
Basic.
bare minimum. You know what I mean? So I'm imagining, but considering our economic situation, it's not something that every couple will easily come up with just to spend a weekend. What would you suggest that couples like that do so that they can still spice up their sex life without having to break the bank?
I think they can still sit together and then plan it together.
Okay.
For instance, last weekend I was in Abri
Okay.
for a wedding, and then there were a number of hotels around. Looking at my pocket and then what I was going to do, I got to be careful with the hotel I choose.
Right.
Very affordable, right? So a couple of such kind can choose a place not far from where they live.
Okay.
If possible, their own town, and
Okay.
then get a cool place where they can enjoy a trip. It's not a matter of going very far or an expensive place where you can't afford.
Right.
That means you're having a sex trip or something like that.
Okay.
So I think if they should be together, they should think on plan it together. They can have a cool place around and then still enjoy the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
A cool place around. So
Sure.
Michael, you're married. What would you recommend for, other married folks who, like I said, don't have to break the bank, but are looking to have a good time or spice up the marriage sexually?
I like the concept of breaking the bank. But anyway, so this is the thing. I feel that in the case of married couples, that it's not very acceptable to just go anywhere. It needs to be a nice place. That is the first thing. But then you would also find that when you move outside of Accra, you find a lot of very nice places that don't cost you an arm and a leg.
Okay.
And you'd go there and you'd be like, oh, wow, because if you look at the facilities you're getting there, if you brought the same facilities to Accra, it will cost you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of places outside Accra are even doing Airbnbs. And when you check out, even in places like Kumasi and everything, you find Airbnbs with swimming pools and nice ambience and nice decor and everything. So Airbnbs will be my first go-to place for
Okay.
someone not looking to break the bank,
Okay.
mainly because a lot of what costs you is not just the fuel in and out of the accommodation, it's also the cost of food. So
Yeah.
if I went to Kumasi and I stayed at, say, the Ark, or I stayed at Golden Tulip or Frederick's Lodge, I know I'm paying somewhere around the range of 1,600 a night to 2,000 a night. Then there's also the cost of food that is in sync with what they charge per night. And so you will spend more. Whereas if you took an Airbnb, you could decide that for a change, you're going to cook for your wife. You're going to show her your culinary skills. You show her the chef in you. But you could do things that make it cheaper. Plus, there are a lot of things to do that everyday people probably just never knew they could do. Like the other day, I found out that in Accra, there is a zoo at Achimota, and it doesn't cost anything, like 5 or 10 cedis for a Ghanaian to go to the zoo and see it. And most people don't even know it's there. And so you mention it and people say,
there's a zoo in Accra? Yeah.
Yes. But you will find that there are a lot of little things. Plus the things that pleasure a lot of people are things that go out of the ordinary for them. So imagine going to say Mankasim, and then being able to go to the beach, watching the fishermen fish, and being able to buy fish that just came out. You will find it exciting. It's a memory that will live with you. Sure. Imagine going to the beach at night and then realizing, the place is quite quiet, and so instead of you sit somewhere and your partner sits on you and she blows your mind. Sure. But talking of that as well, I find a lot of couples like places with beaches, and beaches are conducive really for late night having a good shag somewhere on the beach. The problem with it is that it doesn't allow you too much movement, because at some point the gritty sand will get in places it shouldn't be getting, and then it becomes a bit of a nuisance. But it is something to try. I keep saying that the bedroom is not for sex, it's for sleeping. And once you understand that, you will reinvent your interpretation of sex and where you will have sex, because at some point it will get boring having to, like when you go to the room, hey, like it's too predictable.
I like that. You've talked about being spontaneous and unpredictable when it comes to sex, because the people who have the regular sex that, okay, it has to be in the bed, and I'm going to lick your legs more and then fondle your breast a little, and then, so it's always routine. I know what to expect. It'll start from my leg, my breast, and before I know it, we're done. Sure. So, being spontaneous, doing all the little things, even in the home. Tell me something, even in the home, let's just say that all of this, Airbnb, all of that, we're saying that, we're on a very tight budget. We have 5 children, whatever. Even in the home, how can we turn the home around so that we can make it exciting? I'll have you answer that in a minute, but here's what happens. For me, anytime I'm feeling down, I just shift things around the house, and I feel a whole lot better. I don't know if that happens to anybody else. Yeah, anytime I'm feeling, even in my bedroom, I've never had the same bedroom setting for more than 3 months. Okay. At every given time, I shift things. Yes, I shift things around. Anytime I feel a certain type of way, I just shift things around. So 1 minute you find that my bed is facing the north, the next minute is facing the south, the next minute the bed will enjoy every little space in the room, hopefully before I die. You know what I mean? Sure. And I find that anytime you do that, it gives you a feeling of, it's refreshing. It definitely does something. So we'll get into that, but we're going to go on a break. This is Duvet. It's one of our Christmas editions, and we're coming to you live from Insuomunam, Switchback Road, Cantonment. Tonight, I am with Richmond, I'm with Amishika, and I'm with legendary John Michael. Everybody knows why I'll refer to you as that. We're going to go on a break. When we come back, the conversation is still on. Reach out to us on all our social media platforms. We are on X, we're on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube, of course, streaming live. So be sure to send us all of your responses, everything you want us to know. We also are live on Star 103.5. All right, welcome back. This is Duvet, your favorite late night show on GHOne television. Tonight, we're coming to you from Nsomunam. Now, Nsomunam is open for lunch on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, so be sure to pass by. Especially, you know, a holiday season with your loved one. I'm sure they would have a very good time. Remember, Duvet is brought to you by GBH Hair Relaxer Cream. Now, tonight I'm with Richmond, I'm with Amishika, and I'm with John Michael. We're talking about sex trips. Of course, it's that time of the year. Everybody is getting with their loved one or their unofficial loved one, you know, all of the contraband that it's going to happen around the time of the year, but you know, we don't mind. If it works for you, we are good. Before we went on a break, Ami, we were talking about what you can do in your home. Say I don't have the money to move around, but I have a home. It may not be a big space, but it's still home. What can you do to make it exciting?
Okay, so the thing about spicing things up is to just change something. So you talking about moving things around is one way to spice things up. You don't have the money to go to a new place, but at least make the space you're in kind of new. So changing the position of the bed, or maybe doing it on the floor for a change, doing it in the sofa, doing it in the kitchen, like in the bathroom, the toilet, on the compound, in the car on the compound. Just like look around and see, okay, where is the space that we haven't had sex at? That will be a new space because you haven't had sex there. You can start the session there and then move to the usual space, maybe the bedroom. Like, so just look around, where haven't we done anything sexy at? And then that's a way. And another thing is to make use of lighting, right? So maybe all the time you pull off the light. This time, maybe get scented candles. That's something different. Another thing is new sex positions. Maybe this time do it on the wall, do it standing. Or let's say you're using scented candles, right? Another thing, role play. So it might not be the location you're changing or like the stuff in the room, but it's the activity. So role play, you can work with any script. You can do a teacher and a stubborn child. You can do a maidservant and the boss of the house, employee, and a new, like maybe a new worker. Do you get it? So you can just work with different things, maybe new lingerie. So just work with like anything that's different from what you usually do. She gets it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, explore different kinks, wax play, ice. Just like something different that switches things up. Okay, so then you and your partner know that, okay, it's not the same thing we do all the time. And then you're excited because that's a new experience.
Yes.
If it doesn't go well, you don't have to do it again. If it goes well, then you know that maybe another time we'll try it together and we'll enjoy it.
This is a new introduction.
Exactly.
John Michael, let me, because of where you landed.
Before you say that, I just want to say, it's interesting when everybody talks about their car, they talk about do it in the car. Have you tried doing it on the car?
I have to do that. That's a good addition.
You see, this is the
on the
thing,
kind of thing.
especially if you drive a saloon and it's not 4x4. If it's a 4x4, maybe doggy works best because of the high bonnet. But one of the most fun things you could do is have sex on the car's bonnet. One, the engine has been running, so it's warm or hot, and so it's quite comforting. But the amount of things you can do when you're draped over the bonnet, whether machinery or turned over or anything, but the car is perfect. And sometimes, if you can't afford a trip, just drive around town in the middle of the night. When you get to a spot that looks quite isolated and everything,
police.
you know. The thing about police is sometimes it adds to the adrenaline rush. You know, so
Don't get caught though.
don't get caught,
Don't
but
get caught.
this is the fun part when you know you're going to play games like that. Wear a dress, just don't wear any knickers underneath it. So you could be on the bonnet, you could have a good shag, and then when you see lights, you just stop, or sometimes you just chill and you sit down like nothing is happening. I've seen people have like crazy sex in a club, and she just sitting on him, and at one point you thought she was just dancing.
Give it a love dance.
So they go into orgasm mode and people are in epileptic mode and you're thinking,
What just happened?
Exactly. Yeah. But you can reinvent spaces however you want it. The trick, you see, the thing is sometimes excitement comes from the adrenaline rush. I like skydiving, I like bungee jumping, I like rock climbing, I like imprepagro. But that also translates into being in a place where you could get caught. It makes me excited. And it happens to a lot of people too.
Interesting. So I think I like where you have taken me. I was actually going to talk about, in recent times I've seen, because you know there are fancy places like for instance in Shomanam, and they have fancy bathrooms, sometimes unisex bathrooms. And I see a lot of couples making out in unisex bathrooms in like fancy places.
Making out?
Yes. Having
They don't
sex.
Make out. They have sex.
Yes,
Making out
having
is
sex, having sex,
Yes.
having sex. And
quickie.
yeah, it's a quickie. It's just like, okay.
It
we're
doesn't
sitting-
even have to be a quickie.
And usually what happens is, you know, we're all sitting around a table, I don't know, 8 people. One person gets up, I'm going to the bathroom. Minutes later, another person is gone. They are gone.
Coast is clear.
You know, they are gone for quite a while. I see that it's a thing that also is exciting for a lot of people. Like you said, the adrenaline, you know, anybody could walk in. This is not just a bathroom for us. Anybody could walk in at any time. So even as we're doing what we're doing, you know, like there's always a rush. And I see that it gets exciting for some people. Is this something you've tried? You look like you've tried that.
When I was a lot younger, and this isn't even just pre-wed, this is a lot younger. Yes, I had an incident in Frankie's, and when it came out to the ladies' stall, because she had gone in like, oh, there's nobody here. So I come out to the ladies' stall, and there's somebody had just come in, and I was hi. And then I just
That must
kept
have
walking,
been
and this
awkward.
person is in shock, like, what's the guy doing coming out of the ladies' toilet? I just said hi.
And
And then when I sat down, and the whole time, she came and sat at the table later, and then the woman came and sat there, and I could imagine how she was telling everybody there, I'm glad no more. You know, but yes, it is nice, it is fun, and trust me, when you sit down quietly, it isn't the sex you had in your bed you'll be thinking about. It's, oh my God, did we just do that? Hey, so what if someone had, you know, that is the fun part of it.
Interesting. Richmond, you know, just like John Michael said, when we're younger, it's so easy for us to be spontaneous. It's so easy for us to do all of these things. And then suddenly, we're grown. Suddenly we are grown and we feel as though everything has to be done a certain type of way. It's almost as if all of that has left our bodies and we become so, you know, boring.
That's
so
if you want to be like that type.
no, but you find that a lot of people, as soon as they grow up, especially after marriage, a lot of things change for a lot of people. A lot of dynamics are so different, you know, and so you find that things that they were able to do so easily before marriage, it's difficult for them to do after marriage. Sometimes the women will say, oh, but I'm pregnant, oh, but I just had children, but I'm breastfeeding, but I'm this, and all the bats never come to an end.
Pregnancy sex is sweet, sir.
You're horny 24/7.
with different positions.
24/7 you're horny. You're like, listen, anything you see gives you, your imagination is running wild. But anyway, back to my question.
Yeah.
Why is that the case? And how can people stop themselves from getting to that place where, you know, it's like, okay, everything has to be done a certain kind of way?
That's people who are not dynamic. And if you are that type, your relationship easily breaks. Because
Your relationship easily breaks. Okay.
Because you are not ready to break the normal routine. Do you get it? People are being advised to have sex during pregnancy because it makes the services open very easily during delivery or something. So if you feel because you are pregnant you don't want to have sex, you feel you have 4 kids, you feel you have 5 kids, so you can. The last time Akoso Japan was saying she's having how many kids?
6?
6, and yet she's still sexy.
Yeah,
She still looks young because she feels sex can still be enjoyed at this age. So I think it's a problem for people who feel sex is for a group of people or it's for a particular time. And so doing it at a different time means you're a different person. You know, there are some people, they feel asking for sex means they are the bad ones. asking for sex trips means they are the bad ones, but hell no, that shouldn't be the case.
That shouldn't be the case.
We should all enjoy it,
Okay.
no matter the age. My dad died at the age of 75,
Okay.
and he was still after young ladies.
Legend.
Oh, sure.
He was?
He actually did.
Okay.
You know, at the funeral, I met some ladies. I was telling my big sister, I'm very sure my dad was eating this girl
Yeah.
because they are not relatives.
Yeah.
They are not from that place. So what are they coming to do?
Yeah.
Why are they there? And I know my dad to be that type.
Okay.
But Natalia, I
You
think
get to my point?
sometimes part of the issue is that our social norms lead, especially married women, to feel in a way where they feel that, oh, I'm a married woman, so I shouldn't be this way. So you'd find that a lot of times, and this is coming from me who's been married twice, right?
You've been married twice?
I used to be married when I was in London, and then...
Oh, before you got married?
Yeah, and then...
How come I didn't know that? Anyway, go on.
Anyway, you will find that you get to that point where the same person, and this probably applies to a lot of people listening in now, that you married one person who you used to do the fun stuff with, and then you got married, and then you had children. Then this same person thinks, now I can't give head anymore. This same person thinks, I can't dress up and tease you anymore. This same person thinks, oh, maybe I'm a bray. But there are a lot of things that are to it, and you find that the person who you married who was all of those things is now different because they feel like, oh, now they're married, like they've got the prize. It's not that deep.
Or maybe because they don't feel sexy anymore.
Yes.
Because sometimes you feel like 8 years ago, I could wear lingerie and I would feel my body breathing. My body was on fire. I don't feel the same way. Some people may say, oh, but you're still sexy, but that's because they didn't know me from 8 years ago. But in my mind, I know what things used to be. Childbirth,
Natalia,
this...
you know what my impression is on that, because we've had this conversation, especially with Jim. But I feel, so this is where I stand. Sometimes
Right.
I've made comments that people have said was body shaming, and I've said that, no, it is not body shaming, but I feel that if at any point you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see, the duty totally lies on you to change it.
But
Right?
it's not that easy.
I get it, but if it was
not.
easy, everybody would be doing it. The
Exactly. It's
idea
not
is that
easy.
it isn't easy, but what does it matter to you? Is it important enough to you that you want to make sacrifices to get there? Because consistency works, gym works, workout works, dieting works.
Sure.
So at any point where you know what the problem is and you have refused to do anything about it, then it isn't everybody that's the problem. You are the problem. So you don't feel sexy because you've allowed yourself to
I
go.
mean, totally disagrees.
I
I can
You
see the
disagree-
expression on her face.
No, she disagrees because she feels like, oh, sometimes you can't do anything about it. But
No,
you knew me when before I started working out, because I used to be buff and smaller, and then eventually I put on a lot of weight. Then I started going to the gym, and then I lost 16 kilos, and then later on gained 4 kilos. But it was the fact that I found that it was possible to achieve results if you're consistent. And hence my catchphrase, Ugo Sitifie, because everybody knows it, they think it, they feel like, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym, or I'm going to start working out, or I'm going to start dieting. The truth is, if it meant enough to you, you would do something about it.
I still don't think it's that easy. Like
It's-
you when you're done.
Yeah.
It isn't about easy. It doesn't have to be easy.
Nothing
it just
good
has to
comes
be
easy.
meaningful, because
Nothing
I
good
feel
comes
that
easy.
a lot of things about this world revolve around self-love. Self-love begins with self. How much do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to give yourself the best? Do you love yourself enough to look your best? Because taking care of your body is taking care of you. That is love. So if at some point in your life you feel like, oh, I don't feel as sexy as I used to, in extreme cases, maybe there's a medical condition, something that prevents you from getting there. Those are exceptions to the rule. But for most people...
It's good you acknowledge
Yes,
that.
no, those are exceptions to the rule. To everything, there is an exception. But it isn't the same for the majority. I've seen people in the gym, and for me, now I basically live in Fitness One gym. If you needed to find me, and you went to Fitness One gym every evening, you will find me there. But I love the gym because I love the effect. I love that it makes me feel healthy. I love that my heart is better now. I used to pant after doing a low walk, and now I can go on for.
That's me.
Yes,
I
can
can't
go
do
on
a flight
for,
of stairs.
Yes, I can go on for time, and this even relates to most men because when your cardio is on point, your sex is on point. When you start hitting it, you're going to lie back sweating and feel like I'm the man. Like she's going to look at you and say, you know, but it is about self-love and it all works together, and it's easy to think you can't. When I started, it was hard. Sometimes my body, I had pains and I felt like I just want to sleep. Then I'll sit down and I think, nah. I spoke to a girl who has lost like half of her weight in the gym, and we interviewed her for a show once, and I asked her, how do you feel now? Michael, I'm never going back to what I used to be, but it's the achievement, it's the willpower to do something about it, and most people will find that if they look within. On what you said earlier, yes, it's true. You'd find that maybe you married a man who met you when you were a size 8, and he's drawn to size 8. Then you became a size 12 or a size 14. Sometimes it's the reverse. He met you when you were 16 and he likes thick girls. And then you got to a point where you felt like, now you wanted a healthy life and you wanted all this, and so you shred your weight and you came to a size 10. It is possible that the size 10 that you feel sexy in doesn't appeal to him, so he doesn't find size 10 appealing. He likes your 16 self. 9 out of 10, this one will find a side chick who's a 16 because that is what he's drawn to.
I totally get what you're saying. We're going to go on a break, but before that, let me say this. Sometimes the reason why I would kind of sort of lean towards what Ami is saying is because sometimes, yes, going to the gym or, you know, trying to be fit and healthy, it's a mental thing. You need to make up your mind. But you see, sometimes here's the process. Let me say for myself, okay? I've you know this. I've wanted to go to the gym for years. But let me tell you what happens. So I'm doing, my day can be very crazy. And then I get home and then, you know, the kids, they want this, they want that, they want this. Then maybe I do some small cooking, I do this. By the time I'm done, I don't have the energy for nothing else. And it's not deliberate. In my heart, I really would love to do it. But by the time everything is over and I'm so tired, I'm like, and they say, all the climbing the stairs and descending the stairs, you know?
Mind you, workout is not always in the gym.
Right.
Now, you even online, you see things like calisthenics and you see workout that you can do and get the same results at home. That only requires your body weight.
I started wall Pilates. That's good. Yeah, you know that.
That's all right.
Yeah, wall Pilates, I started that. And I think that's...
Are you consistent?
Charlie.
You see, it's a beautiful question he asked because with workout, you can do even minimal workout, but if you're consistent at the minimal, you will get results.
You get results.
The problem is most people don't want the long haul. They want quick fix. So let me drink this tea, this herbal thing I heard of. And the thing is, nothing fast benefits you in the long run.
Right.
Because
Can I add something when
yes,
right.
Yeah, so you would get the result quickly. But even with dieting, I don't diet. Me, I'm fancy. I love my food. Yeah,
I
love
see
my
you
food.
posting all that
Yes,
food.
but I lost 16 kilos whilst I was not dieting and eating because I found that the thing about dieting is when you diet, you eat things that you don't enjoy eating, right? Eventually, when you get to your preferred weight, you will go back to the things you enjoy eating, and then everything goes to zero.
Yeah. Ami.
Okay, so the thing with weight gain is that I wanted to mention how your mental state plays a big role. Some people end up like, depending on how stressed you are and how like new mothers go through postpartum depression, your mental state can influence how much you eat. Because some people stress eat. Some people, it's like I'm overeating, I can't stop because I'm in that state where it's like my mind is telling me, let me eat, and then that brings me some kind of comfort. So sometimes you need to deal with whatever is causing you to not be able to stick with maybe your workout plan or your diet plan, because like there's something, maybe stress, conflict, relationship conflict, your work, it can be anything. So that's why that's why we always say that don't comment on somebody's weight, because you don't know what they are going through. It can be a sickness that made them them lose weight. It can be a sickness that's making them gain weight. So when it comes to weight gain and weight loss, I feel like when you're dating a woman, accept that there's gonna be a time where maybe she's gonna have children, her body might change. The fact that I'm skinny right now doesn't mean that I'm gonna be skinny the whole time I'm going to be with you. If you can't accept that there'll be a time where my weight might fluctuate because of childbirth, because maybe in my mental state I'm depressed, and I personally comfort eat, so I have weight fluctuations. And sometimes you'll be skinny. There was a time I lost weight because I was sick. And I got tired of people saying, oh, you look so good. What did you do? Then it's like, okay, I have to now take you back to a time that I was going through a very bad phase. So it's like, okay, don't comment on people's weight because you don't know what they go through to get to that point. I feel like men should be more realistic. I get it. You think I'm pretty.
I feel
I've
you.
got a great body. But then I could have a baby today, and then maybe after having that baby, it makes sense that I should start working out right after. But postpartum depression, you don't know how it starts. You don't know, like as a human being, of course, I like looking fit. Maybe after having a child, I look in the mirror and it's like, I don't even recognize who you are anymore. And it takes a toll on me mentally.
I feel you.
As a partner, how are you going to support me? Are you going to make me feel bad because, well, when I met you, you look this way and I was attracted to that? When you start making me feel bad for gaining weight, it's like, it worsens the plight.
Right. I mean, we're going to continue this conversation when we come back. We're going on a break. I personally feel like it's so selfish for any partner to think that they want you to look the exact same way you were looking when they first met you. And half the time, the people who have those expectations are not looking the same way they were looking when they met you. But anyway, it is what it is. They say it's a man's world. We don't accept it, but we're still here. We're still living in it, aren't we? This is Duvet on GHOne television. Tonight we're coming to you from Insuomunam at Cantonment. They are open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for lunch. Be sure to pass by during these festive seasons. My name is Natalia. Remember, Duvet is brought to you by GBH Hair Relaxer Cream. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. My singing is bad, but anyway, yes, this is Duvet, and tonight we're coming to you from Insuomunam at Cantonment. Tonight I have Richmond, Amishika, and John Michael, who was actually looking at me funny when I was singing. I know I don't have a good voice. It's okay, please. We're gonna go and check out our sex position of the week. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Orgasmic role reversal. This is to be performed when the woman is unsatisfied and still full of the water of love. The Ananga Ranga recommends it for times when the man is exhausted and no longer capable of muscular exertion. Although today, many couples would make it their position of choice. Men and women love on-top positions for their thrilling raunchiness and the power to stimulate. To get into position, she straddles his body with her feet flat on the bed and guides him into her. For him, she is free to satisfy him in any way she likes. She can bob up and down on his penis, rock back and forth, or squeeze him tight from inside. For her, an orgasm is almost guaranteed for her because she is in control of the angle, depth, and pace of penetration. It's raunchy because it gives men the thrill of immediacy. She simply straddles his body and takes him inside her. Then, if she turns his penis by making circular motions while moving up and down, he will find the pleasure mind-blowing.
All right, I hope you have taken note of that position and that you're going to try it, especially this season. See, I think this season, everybody should, try out things. I think since I started doing the show, one of the things that I hear people say a lot is they say, I've actually had people come to my inbox and say, I'm meeting somebody tonight, or I've been chirping this girl for a minute, tonight we're meeting, show me something, what should I do? And I'm like, hey. What are you talking about? I'm not a sex coach. Let me direct you to Amishika. She will show you, with her book, of course, she'll show you what to do. But I see that people like to say that to me or ask me these questions a lot lately. When people come to my inbox to say that I want to spice things up with my... There's this guy who said that they had been married for 10 years. and they just had a baby, and after the baby's like the sex has come to nothing. Because they were trying for a baby, they were having a lot of sex. Now that they have the baby, there's very minimal sex. And he was asking me what are some of the things that, you know, he could do to spice things up and all so that they can be having more sex again. But I think that this season especially, people should just go all out, you know. Once you're with it's a Christmas gift. Once you're with a partner that you love, you enjoy them, I don't know why you should hold back. You should just, you know, let go. No inhibitions.
You know, the thing is, you know, this is not true in everybody's case, but you know, sometimes when you're married with someone long enough, yeah, they become like your sister. You know, you guys start having brother-sisterly feelings towards each other. So it's not that you love them, you absolutely adore them, you love them, but they feel like your sister.
It's just a familiarity.
It's the familiarity. It's you've seen them in every worst possible case. Yeah. I mean, you've seen your wife have a baby, you've seen her through childbirth, you've seen her when she's unwell, you've seen her when she has no hair, when she has, you've seen everything.
But nothing still changes.
Nothing still changes, but I mean, mentally, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, all of these things make you, it's not the same like when you see Amishika. You haven't seen anything worse about her. You only see her when she's dressed up. And I feel like that's why a lot of men tend to lean more towards all these contrabands that they carry around the town. Because they feel like,
You said it like it was personal.
Oh yeah, because you haven't seen, the only time you see this girl is when she's all dressed up and nice. You haven't seen anything beneath the surface. So it's always fresh and nice to you. But your wife, Charlie, she has opened her legs wide, baby has come out, you have seen it. You know what I mean? It does something to you.
There's a line in the movie The Godfather,
right,
where he says the thing about marrying your dream girl is she becomes real.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That is the honest truth.
She has to be herself.
She has to be herself. Planning a sex trip. Yeah. What are some of the things that we need to have in mind and carry along when we're going on this trip? Everybody's going to give me like 3 things. John, you're in a hurry. Tell me. Yes.
Sex games.
Sex games. Okay.
Yeah, like get cards and stuff that tell you what to do.
Okay.
And yeah, that you need candles and music.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're going to a hotel or whatever, if you have a Bluetooth speaker,
okay,
carry it along. It helps to create the ambience that you're looking for. And 3, sex toys.
Sex toys.
Oh yes.
Okay.
And maybe later on, if you ask me, I'll tell you about it. But I went to St. John Methodist Church and gave a talk to the Susanna Wesley Women's Auxiliary, which is a church group. And I got asked a question about what happens if you're a Christian woman and you never had sex with your partner, and then you got married and then you found you had a small penis. And I said to them, you have 2 options. Either you're going to get a side man to do you so you're satisfied, or you're going to start using sex toys. Hey, Sofoba, what do you mean sex toys? I said, oh, trust me, vibrators, dildos, and we had a conversation about it, and for the first time I felt like they were quite receptive to the conversation, because it was applying to some of their everyday lives.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, my dad is a Methodist minister, and he came over to the house and I told him what the response I had given to the Suma people about getting sex. He said, you know, it is better than them having to look to another man for satisfaction when they can. So Suma people, if you are watching, my dad agrees with me.
Your dad agrees with you. Ami, what things should you carry along?
Okay, before I say that, can I add to the fact that, like, even if you're not having sex before you marry, there's a way girls, like single girls, find out the size of your partners before it gets to that point. So it's like, it's not like I'm taken by surprise. The fact that we are waiting till marriage, maybe you are kissing, you go swimming together, you go dancing together, it gives you an idea what size you're working with before you marry. Okay.
But is it, I feel
so it's not like a movement or a move you do that.
I feel it's less size and more skill.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm alone in that.
No, it is
because
true
you
to an
may be
extent.
surprised by a size that is okay for you, but it's skillless.
But it just shouldn't be below average, because there's average.
There are times where the skill can be there, but if
Average 5 to
if
5.5.
the tool you're working with is
It's very,
yes,
it makes it difficult.
She just giving a size.
Five
I
to-
asked what's the normal size, the average
5 to
size.
5.5 inches is like from here to
It's-
here. It's like
yeah,
average.
standard.
So
How are people
hopefully
able
it's
to
not
measure
below.
these things?
And
I mean, she
I
can
have a
measure
way.
it.
that was
With
a
your
lot
phone.
question.
How are you measuring? Like
You can
what?
measure. If you wear heels, there's a way you measure the heels, because you know from here to here is like 3 inches.
Yeah.
There's a way if you want to. Girls who want to know, because
And this is, you measure this when it's erect?
yeah, so last weekend I was talking to a girl and we were having a conversation. She was talking about how when she goes on a date, usually you kiss. So while kissing, it gives you a chance to feel. Because
What if you're feeling when he doesn't have a hard on?
No, because I mean, while kissing is erotic, right? So tongue kissing, you are slowly getting turned on.
Okay.
So you are feeling him in a way where it's like he's getting hard, so you get an idea of how big he is.
Interesting.
So when you're kissing it, you go and feel his penis.
You go, yeah, you go and
That's
put
a-
your hand
Is that what you're
You know,
saying?
it's a lot of girls that have confessed to
Okay.
me that they have a way of telling before they even try to get in a relationship with a guy.
Right. Interesting.
Just so you don't end up with somebody that isn't up to. Okay, so should we move on to
Yes,
where you have
please.
to pass?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so one thing is lingerie
Okay.
or a costume.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the lingerie is like, I love lingerie
Sets the
personally
tone.
because it makes you feel sexy. You like how you look. So you kind of want to dance or do
Yeah.
something sexy in it. So that's the first thing. Either a lingerie or a costume for role play.
Okay.
Next thing is a BDSM kit.
Okay.
It's either you're getting a rope or cuffs.
Okay.
So that, let's say if you are the wife or the girlfriend, you are tying your partner up and doing things to their body. You can use ice, you can use things, like just to, it's like we are in a relaxed state and I can please you. So you can take turns to please each other.
Okay.
Next thing is sex toys, vibrators. I would work with vibrators because, like, let's say it's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
With a vibrator, you can use it together. You can sit back and watch your wife or your girlfriend use the vibrator to have an orgasm, and then you join in. Or both of you can do mutual masturbation. You are stroking your penis, she's using the vibrator on herself, and then both of you get off together. Or you can hold the vibrator on her clitoris, because for women, the clitoris is the most sensitive part of the body. It's more sensitive than the head of the penis. So that should tell you how sensitive it is. So using the vibrator on the clitoris whilst penetrating can heighten the pleasure and make it easier for her to have an orgasm. Candles are great for wax play and then lighting, dim lighting. So those are great too.
All right, Richmond. What are you packing to go?
Well, I think they've said much, but you know there are a few things that need to be considered.
Okay.
Something like a Wi-Fi.
Okay, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi
Okay.
is one great point, because at a point in time you need to go online and search one or two bad moves, and then you try it down there. You know, the lady can go up with makeup kits, because at a point in time she will love
You
to.
want to dress up.
Sharp.
Okay, what else?
Let's go with these two.
Let's go with these two.
Let's go with these
Very
two, yeah,
interesting.
sure.
I think I like, you know, everything that you're all packing to go on this sex trip. All of your stuff.
Just add to as well.
I'll be packing all of your stuff. I think you've pretty much said everything.
Sure.
You know, I like the role play, the dress up. I usually like a doctor and a patient, like, oh, daddy, I'm ill. Yeah.
So a first aid
Dr.
box-
Daddy.
So a first aid box will do?
A what?
A first aid box will do?
No. Hey, we are past. We're past first aid box. We're past. First aid is for first aid. I'm badly ill. I've gone.
But,
I've gone past first aid.
On sex trips, I think couples have to avoid electronics.
Electronics.
Yeah, because
Why'd you say that?
because you need to have time for yourself.
Oh, well, you mean gadgets?
Oh, you mean
Gadgets,
Yeah.
electronic gadgets. Yeah.
You didn't get that,
Because
did you?
Yeah, because
at
some
a
of the
point-
sex toys are
Yeah.
electronic.
Oh, okay, I get
In
your
a
point.
real world,
Yeah.
there are some people who own companies. There are some people who need to be on standby for anything.
Yeah, there's some people who have left babies at home.
I've been on a trip where, like, I had to understand that he needed to work at a point. It wasn't planned.
Zazie.
Yeah,
And I-
we just had to
Zaz.
accept that we are
That would be when
realistic.
he's tired and then probably he needs some few minutes to rest. Then he can do that.
Well, I'm just
But
being realistic
You
to the
can totally
Yeah,
go out
in a
without
real
it.
world,
There are times when you have to pause for a bit and then answer a few polls.
Wow.
Especially in recent times, because a lot of people are vlogging whenever they travel or go to all of these places.
Sometimes when your phones are off, it's a problem, because I've had to counsel somebody who went away with their lover, and then she left to go write an exam, and then their phones were meant to be off the whole time. And when his phone came on the next day when they were returning, he found that she had come to Accra and gotten married. And then returned to him. Oh yes. That's a blast. So sometimes when your phone is off,
you don't see what's happening around you, do you?
And sometimes some calls will also come through at the wrong time. What about that?
The what?
When the phones are on and then call comes through at the wrong time.
You can choose not to answer.
No, when your phone is on, you put it on silent. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't nothing. It's on silent.
But even if it's on ring, you can choose not to respond. When you're done, you can always go back to it.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
It could be an emergency.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
You don't want to turn on your phone and you were...
Your partner will go and get married and you don't.
You didn't know that was what was happening, or that's what happened. Okay, that's pretty interesting, the things that we're packing. Now, these sex trips that we go on, by the time that you're done for the weekend or however long you go, when you return, what are some of the things or some of the changes that your relationship will see or feel?
You feel more connected to each other.
Okay.
Because it's fun, it was so relaxing, and you had a lot of sex. Sex, naturally, because of the hormones released, because of oxytocin, it's a bonding hormone. Because you did a lot of that, like you feel closer mentally, emotionally with your partner. So it's a way to revive. So I had that in mind when you mentioned the person who had been married for like 10 years and they had had a child. One suggestion would have been like, okay, go outside town, go on a sex trip, and then slowly, when you come back, you feel closer, and then it can revive things for you to like awaken your sex life.
Yeah, interesting. Would you say, John Michael, the reason why in recent times a lot of men, married men, are so comfortable, you know, with external affairs is because of all of the excuses that women have, like in recent times? And to be fair, women are doing so much more than we used to. Women are working, taking care of the home, you know, even people who have been employed by other people still have side, you know, stuff that they do, side business, this and that. So it's like there's a whole lot that today's woman is doing. Would you agree?
True.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it usually has nothing to do with that. The thing is, she could be everything she should be, and if he's going to do it, he's still going to do it anyway. It's just that I think sometimes, like what I find, especially in some conversations, is in cases, especially of independent women, you find that men naturally want to be needed, they want to be desired, they want to have a say. And when they don't get that, it's easier to get a girl from University of Ghana who say yes, Zazie, and you know, make you feel like you're like someone looks up to you, you take care of someone. It comes with it, but yeah.
Men like to feel that, don't they?
Men want to feel needed. They like being needed. So sometimes even when you don't really need them to do it, it pays to just let them
All
do
of these
it.
independent women are not doing...
Independent woman doesn't work for the dynamics of our ego.
Okay.
I also feel like a lot of these married women are not being pleased well enough, because a lot of men out here focus too much on penetration. So it's like, even if they're chasing the other people that they are not married to, the main focus thing is to penetrate. They are not like doing the foreplay stuff that they should focus on that women need. And a lot of these wives end up, it's like, well, I'm married to you, I've already had the children. Because initially you think that sex is supposed to be for procreation. I've had all the children we're supposed to have. What's the point of having sex with you now? Because even if I have sex with you, you're the only one who is coming. It's either I open my legs till you get off, and then after the session has ended. So it's like no motivation. I'm not enjoying sex as much as you are. It's for you. What's the point of having sex with you?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of women are
we've had several conversations where I've hit on communication.
Right.
Because a lot of times what you find, or what I find when I talk to couples, is that there's a communication breakdown.
Exactly.
And a lot of women, unfortunately, don't feel comfortable talking to their spouses about sex, about pleasing them. They feel that to tell a person that he's not satisfying you is to diminish his.
Right.
Because of their ego.
Okay, so we're going to have to wrap this thing up. Let's do our final words. Sex trips. In conclusion, John Michael, what would you say?
In conclusion, sex trips are good to spice up your lives. It's good for everything, but it's also good for you to bond with whoever you're sleeping with. And remember that the bedroom is not for sex. that is all I want. If you don't go away with anything, just go away knowing that your bed is for sleeping, it's for bedding, it's not for sex.
Okay. Good. Any things you're up to that we should know about?
Oh, so this December, going to have 1,000,001 events in Soho, in Luna. Luna is opening again this December. Then there's also Sankin Garden and White. Sankin Garden does incredible day parties. Unfortunately, Ghanaians don't come out early, so it starts from about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But these are going to be 4 of the hottest places you're going to have to be this December. So see you there.
All right. Ami, final words?
So my final words are that sex trips are really great for relationships, for marriages. They bring the novelty. And even if you can't go far away from town, at least a hotel in your city can be great. They help. And then plan before you go. Have a plan for the things you're going to do together so that when you go, it's not like we don't have anything to do, so you can have a good time. Have a sexy December, though.
Have a sexy December. Richmond,
Hello.
final words.
All right, so what I would say is let's keep calm and then let's enjoy some fun and then sex trips. Bear in mind the good or the health benefits of sex. You know, good sex actually really releases stress and anxiety, you know, boosts your self-confidence and increases libido as well. So in as much as we are enjoying our sex trips, let's gear our mind towards the health benefits as well. Yeah.
All right. Anything coming up from you that we should know about?
It's already going on.
It's already going on, okay.
I do organize this health screenings for free.
Okay.
And then it's happening now. I think tomorrow I have it on one of the basic schools in Sohom.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going on.
Okay.
It's going on,
That's good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. So thank you, Richmond, Amishika, and John Michael. Thank you so much. I totally enjoyed you guys. We definitely look forward to having you again. And to you, season's greetings. Thank you so much for staying with us. Big shouts going out to our sponsor, GBH Hair Relaxer Cream. And big shouts going out to my producer, Gifty Edumensa Ewuku. She knows I love her, and I'll buy pork for her. Definitely enjoy. Season's greetings to you. Enjoy, have fun, have a lot of sex, be excited, and we will do this again, same time next week. My name is Natalia. Good night.